Alright y'all, welcome back to another video. So today we are making the Rockin Wood Rustic Wooden Flag. I know that's a mouthful. But what I mean by that is Rockin Wood, a company that collects and saves reclaimed lumber from going to the landfill. So if you're interested, link will be in the description. But pretty much they sent me over 12 of their 3-inch by 3-foot planks of wood, and I'm ripping them down to 1.5 inches. Luckily, that's the size of the large flag I make, so I was able to get 2 stripes out of each piece. Next thing I did was I took 3 of them, 3 out of the 13, and cut them down. I believe it was 14.5, not 100%, got to go back and check. But I cut them down to that size. The 14.5 is for the union, the other half is for the white stripes that will be sanded. I don't use white because I've had problems with it not being saturated enough, looks too patchy and stuff like that. Next thing I did was I took it over back to the table saw. We're not sawing it though, we are sanding it. So I'm laying it out, make sure everything looks alright. And yeah. Alright, whenever you're sanding, you want to use your PPE. What I mean by that is a mask, definitely, when you're doing this. You can wear safety goggles, but yeah, a mask is most definite. I'm using this one, it's got a quick latch on the front so I can take it off and without having to take the full mask off. Here I'm using the Ryobi orbital sander with a 4 amp hour battery. Here you'll see I'm using a clamp. I started with 2 clamps. One clamp falls off in like 10 seconds, but for the sandpaper we started off with 80 grit, moved to 150, and then finished it off with 200. I'd recommend going to 200, especially if you're using like pallet wood or anything like that. It just gives it a nice finish. But yeah, like I said, as you can see here, the clamp is just about to fall off. And there it goes. But one clamp was perfect enough. It held the one side where I needed it the most. Now, normally you don't want to dig into the wood, but I was having troubles with a piece, so I just added a bit more pressure than I normally would. Here you can see I measured the flag first to get the correct size, because I've noticed when making a couple of flags that the size varies about 1/2 inch to 1 inch. So I always measure my flags before I cut now, just because I like to have it to where it's just about to touch the edge, but not 100%. It just gives it a clean look in my opinion. But yeah, here I'm just double checking. Those ones were a little long, so I ended up cutting them as well. Lastly, we took the brad nailer. Of course, I'm using a Ryobi one, same battery. Seems like with the Ryobi tools, especially the sander and the nailer, if it's not a 4 amp hour, it's not gonna work. This is not a diss. I love their tools, but I will say that. Other than that, I am using glue as well. I use Type on 3, just because I don't know. When making this, I didn't know if I was gonna sell it or not, and if I was gonna sell it, if someone was gonna put outside. I wasn't sure, so I was using Type on 3 just to make sure it was okay if I did end up selling it. But I didn't. It's hanging in my house now. But yeah, the brad nails, we're using 5/8 inch brad nails. It goes through this wood perfectly. When I'm using select pine, I use 1.5 inch. This one I didn't want any nails popping out, so I did a couple of test pieces beforehand just to confirm, and 5/8 was the best option for me. Alright, I will say I forgot to record the carving process, but this is what the finished flag looks like. We did the Betsy Ross 1776 Union for it. I thought it was the best option for this design. But if you liked the video, hit the like button, comment what I should do next, and if you want to see more content like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Thank you all for watching.